You're buying stuff and it's making you poor. Not just the expenses themselves, but these are things specific to poor people that they're spending money on that rich people just are not.
Yeah, the first one, lottery tickets. You wouldn't think that's a big deal. In fact, 1 of 5 Americans think that the only way they'll ever be able to accumulate a large sum of savings is if they won the lottery. So consequently,
So
on average, the American adult spends $219.54 a year on lottery tickets. That equates to almost $17 per month.
And that's normal.
That's average. And
17, buy a couple tickets when you're in a gas station.
And there are a lot of people like me who would never buy a lottery ticket.
Ever.
And so that means that the people that do are probably on average spending a lot more than $17 a month. Mm-hmm. If you invested that $17 a month from the time you're 20 till the time you're 60, just based on like long-term market averages, right? The last 30 years. By the time you're 60, you're going to have a $200,000 nest egg just from the money you would have spent on lottery tickets.
It's crazy. That $17 a month used correctly can already get you this large savings that those people never thought that they could get any other way than the lottery. So every decision you make financially matters if you have that long-term perspective.
Exactly. Another interesting fact about the lottery is wealthy people, rich people, high-income people, about 6% of them buy lottery tickets. Poor people, 77% buy lottery tickets. And I think it goes back to that concept of, well, I don't make very much money, so the only way I'll ever have wealth is if I win the lottery. The
lottery is a tax on people who are bad at math. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. As well as car loans. So car loans, buying a car on a loan is just a horrible idea, including now when we're offering 0% loans and things like that if you'll just buy the new car. Because you think about it, let's say you spend $38,000 on a Honda Pilot or something, right? So
that's new cost today on a Honda Pilot.
And that's not even a real stacked up with features.
Right.
$38,000. On an average car loan, once we factor all of the things in, you're going to end up spending $6,232 in interest. That's a lot right there. But that's just the difference between car loan versus no car loan.
Right.
The difference is way bigger when we consider just your purchases of cars over a lifetime. Now let's look at you spending $38,000 on that Honda Pilot versus you spending $9,500 on a pretty decent used car. That's a $9,500 car. You can get a very reliable, decent
minivan
car.
that I've driven my kids in for the last 6 years cost me less than $9,500. And it's been reliable. I mean, I've had to do a few normal maintenance things to it, but that's it. It's been extremely reliable for about 6 years.
So you could buy 5 of them for the same cost as that one Honda Pilot.
Yeah.
I mean, you just think about those decisions for your entire working career, 20 to 60.
How those stack up.
Man, it's really going to stack
up. If
up.
$17 a month on lottery ticket stacks up, imagine what not having a $750 car payment every month does to your long-term financial success. Okay, the next tax on a lot of Americans, especially low-income Americans, is cigarettes. 21% of people who earn under $35,000 a year spend money every single month on cigarettes. But if you earn more than $100,000 a year, only 7% of you are spending money on cigarettes. It's another example of a tax on the poor, especially considering how heavily cigarettes are actually taxed. It is a literal tax on low-income people.
Yeah, you look at numbers that big, 21% versus 7% according to it. It's just like, man, you cannot do this. And that obviously has a lot more to do with the mindset of the poor than the actual cost of the cigarette. It's not the actual cost of the cigarette that's making you poor, but that mindset shows up. You don't care for your health, you don't care for your money, you don't care for nothing. And you see it right there. All right, toilet paper. Okay, so this one's funny, but I think it brings up an interesting point.
And I think it extends well beyond toilet paper.
Yes, that's my point. So the source is the University of Michigan did a study that they found that poor people spend 5.9% more for their toilet paper than rich people do. Now, here's the interesting thing. They also found out that poor people are buying the cheap, junky brands of toilet paper, and rich people are buying the expensive Charmin Triple Roll, right? So how is it possible that rich people are getting the better toilet paper for 5.9% less than the poor people? It's because people with money can actually make smart decisions in the grocery store. They can buy in bulk. When they see something's on sale, they say, I'll take 3, right? Because, I mean, newsflash, you're going to need toilet paper next month too, right? But when you're poor and you have no money in your checking account, you only have the choice to buy what you need today. And so you're not taking advantage of those sales and bulk buys. So toilet paper is a funny example of it, but obviously it applies to everything.
Your food, everything that you're buying, all consumables, your toothpaste. I mean, we have like, not a drawer full of toothpaste, but like probably 8 tubes of toothpaste just because for convenience sake, right? You run out of one, it's like, shoot, I got to put on the list, what am I going to do till then? The concept of being able to buy ahead of time, buying in bulk and buying when there's a sale, when there's a coupon, whatever, it saves a lot of people a lot of money. Again, adding up to probably well over $17 a month in my budget every single month because we're able to make those smart decisions because we have the money to buy when the time is right.
Absolutely.
The next one, payday loans. These are probably one of the biggest taxes on low-income people that exists. And honestly, in my opinion, it's criminal what's being done through payday loans. 44% of all military service members used a payday loan at least once.
Oh,
that is sad to me.
That is sad.
And it just goes to show it's not just because military, right? It's because of the kind of the income level you're at, the this mindset that happens when you don't have any sort of savings, you don't have any sort of emergency fund, your income is enough to live basically paycheck to paycheck. What happens when you have a flat tire and you got to replace some tires?
Yeah. And you can see that it's a tax on the poor because the average yearly income for someone who gets a payday loan is $30,000
or less, right?
That is really, really low. And that's who they're catered to.
Yeah.
And so you talk about how bad that is for your finances. On average, payday loan users spend $520 in fees to get a loan for $375. There's no way you're going to get ahead if you're doing stupid stuff like that.
And the problem that happens to a lot of people, there have been many exposés on this, is you get into a cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You take out that one payday loan for $300, $400, $500 to just cover the expenses, but your paycheck next month isn't going to be any bigger. And so you're not going to be able to cover the payday loan and the fees that go on top of that.
Yep.
And so next thing you know, you're borrowing money
You're
again.
done.
And it's over. You find yourselves in tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to these loan sharks who are totally taking advantage of you.
Now your car gets repossessed, now you own the bank for the car, and it's over.
Keeps you down.
That is a decision you never, ever want to make financially. So these are 5 things that you're buying that make you poor, but there are so many videos we have for you. One that I want to point out is 7 side hustles that could make you $25,000 this year. It's kind of the opposite side of good things you can be doing for your finances.